Chosen one. Wait, who just stood up for you last night? Because everything flipped overnight, and that tremor you're feeling is the proof. You woke up different because the battlefield rearranged itself in your favor. Someone unexpected, someone with power, roared on your behalf, and your enemies felt it before you did. The question is no longer what happened. It's what will you do with this power now? Last night, while you were exhausted from fighting battles nobody else could see, someone stepped into your war zone. Someone with real power looked at what's been happening to you and said, not this one, not anymore. When this protector stood up for you, the intervention wasn't just defending you. The intervention was a bet. A bet that you're about to rise so high that every single insult, every single betrayal, every single dagger aimed at your back will look like a joke in the rearview mirror. The world thinks it can still hurt you, but here's the secret. The world already lost its grip. The battlefield you were standing on yesterday doesn't exist anymore. The rules changed overnight. You are not the victim anymore. You're the storm approaching. But who is this person? Who is this force that decided your fate needed rewriting? You've been asking yourself this question all day, haven't you? Running through possibilities, trying to piece together who would have the power and the will to step into your war zone and flip everything upside down. This protector wasn't someone you expected. This protector wasn't someone who owed you anything. This protector wasn't even someone you knew was watching. This guardian emerged from the shadows, like someone who had been studying your situation for longer than you realized, calculating the perfect moment to strike. And the way this person moved was surgical, decisive, like someone who had been planning this intervention forever, like someone who knew exactly what buttons to push, exactly which pressure points would bring your enemies to their knees. This wasn't amateur hour. This wasn't someone just feeling sorry for you. This was strategic warfare executed by someone who plays chess while your haters are still learning checkers. What's really getting under your skin in the best way possible is the precision, the way every argument your enemies had got dismantled, the way every weakness in their attacks got exposed, the way their own weapons got turned against them without breaking a sweat. Whoever this is doesn't just have power. This person has intelligence. This person has strategy. This person has the kind of cold calculation that wins wars before the first shot is fired. And now you're wondering what else this guardian knows, what else has been watched, what other moves have already been planned, because someone who strikes with that level of precision doesn't just have one move. Someone like this has a whole playbook, and you are just seeing the opening play. This person didn't decide to protect you on a whim. This guardian saw something in you that made burning bridges worth it, made making enemies acceptable, made risking reputation necessary to ensure your survival. Think about that. Really think about it. Someone looked at your situation and decided you were worth going to war for. Someone saw past the surface chaos and recognized something valuable enough to fight for. Someone identified potential in you that even you might not fully recognize yet. That's not pity. That's not charity. That's investment in something believed to pay massive dividends. What your protector saw was a sleeping giant, a force of nature that had been suppressed, contained, held back by people who recognized your threat level and worked overtime to keep you dimmed. Your protector saw through all of that camouflage and recognized the raw power underneath. And here's where the story gets really interesting. This person didn't act alone. When someone with real power decides to move, the movement doesn't happen in isolation. Networks exist, resources exist, connections exist, influence extends far beyond what's visible on the surface. Right now, as you're processing all of this, conversations are happening in rooms you'll never see about your situation. Decisions are being made by people whose names you don't know. Obstacles are being removed from your path. Forces are being mobilized to ensure that what happened last night was just the beginning, not the end. Your guardian angel isn't just one person. Your guardian is the tip of an iceberg. Your guardian is the visible representation of an entire ecosystem that has decided your success is non-negotiable, and that ecosystem operates according to rules your enemies don't understand, and with resources your haters can't match. See, the intervention wasn't just that someone stood up for you. The intervention is about who this person is and why this happened. That's the part no one's talking about. The part that's making your enemies nervous and your fake friends go quiet. Your enemies thought you were alone. Your enemies needed you to be alone because when you're isolated, you're easier to break. But the second somebody powerful decided to put their foot down and say, not this one, not them, the whole board flipped. And let me tell you a little secret about the kind of people who defend someone like you. Defense doesn't come from charity. Standing up doesn't happen for weakness. Standing up happens for threats, for weapons in disguise, for sleeping monsters that the world dared to provoke, because you were never meant to beg for respect. You were built to demand respect without speaking a word, and now you don't even have to speak. The ones who used to mock you are asking questions. Wait, who's backing them? Why are things changing? Why do they look different? Because the feeling is undeniable. You're covered now. Not by luck, not by mercy, but by something vicious, something primal. And that kind of protection, that kind of loyalty, only shows up when a beast recognizes another beast. The declaration wasn't just defense. The declaration was that you are sacred, untouchable, and now anyone who even thinks about coming for you is getting consequences without warning. No trial, no explanation, just results. The protection you received wasn't just about immediate rescue. The protection was about activating dormant codes in your spiritual DNA that have been waiting for the right moment to come online. You've been operating at a fraction of your true capacity. And last night's intervention was the cosmic key that unlocked your full potential. You're experiencing abilities you never knew you had. Intuition so sharp it cuts through deception like a blade. Discernment so precise you can read people's intentions before words leave their mouths. This isn't gradual development. This is instantaneous activation. Like a computer receiving a massive software upgrade overnight. Your consciousness has been expanded to access frequencies your old self couldn't even detect. You're seeing patterns in human behavior that used to confuse you. You're understanding motivations that used to perplex you. You're recognizing manipulation tactics that used to work on you. Your protector didn't just defend your current position. Your protector activated your future capabilities and pulled them into your present reality. You're operating with tomorrow's wisdom in today's battles. And that's why your enemies look so confused when their old tactics bounce off you like pebbles off armor. Something extraordinary is happening to your energy field right now. You're becoming magnetic in ways that defy logical explanation. The right people are finding you effortlessly. The right opportunities are presenting themselves without you seeking them. The right resources are flowing toward you like metal drawn to a magnet. But here's the flip side that's equally powerful. The wrong people are being repelled just as automatically. If this message activated your knowing, hype this video to connect with more chosen ones on this journey. The energy vampires who used to drain you can't get close anymore. The manipulators who used to confuse you can't establish their usual emotional hooks. The negativity that used to stick to you now slides off like you're coated in something impenetrable. Your magnetic field is operating like a sophisticated security system, attracting everything that serves your highest good while repelling everything that would diminish your power. You don't have to consciously filter anymore. Your energy is doing the sorting automatically, drawing in what elevates you and pushing away what would limit you. Your mysterious guardian understood that true protection isn't just about defense. True protection is about transformation, and a metamorphosis got triggered in your energetic signature that makes you naturally attractive to success and naturally repulsive to anything that would threaten it. You're starting to remember something you forgot a long time ago. You're starting to recall who you were before the world convinced you to be smaller, before the voices of doubt and limitation took up residence in your head, before you learned to apologize for your intensity and dim your light to make others comfortable. That person you used to be, the one who dreamed without limits and moved without fear, is coming back not as a memory but as a reality, not as who you used to be, but as who you're becoming right now. Because the protection you received last night wasn't just about defending your current self. The protection was about securing space for your future self to emerge, And that future self is nothing like the person who's been playing small. Nothing like the version of you that accepted crumbs and called them meals. Nothing like the soul who learned to shrink to fit into spaces that were never meant to contain you. Your future self is vast, powerful, uncompromising, magnetic in ways that draw the right people and repel the wrong ones without effort. This version of you doesn't seek approval because validation generates from within. This version doesn't chase opportunities because opportunities chase you. This version doesn't explain worth because presence makes worth undeniable. What's happening to you right now is a complete frequency upgrade. You're broadcasting on a different channel, operating from a different vibration, attracting different experiences because you're becoming a different person entirely. The old you operated from lack, from scarcity, from the belief that there wasn't enough respect, love, success, or recognition to go around. That version of you competed for scraps and felt grateful for whatever attention could be gotten. But this new frequency you're accessing operates from abundance, from knowing, from the absolute certainty that you don't need to fight for what's meant for you, because what's meant for you is inevitable. This version of you doesn't compete because the understanding exists that you're in a category of your own. And people can feel this shift even if articulation fails them. The way you walk has changed. The way you speak has changed. The way you take up space has changed. You're not asking permission anymore. You're not seeking approval. You're not trying to prove you belong. You just belong. And everyone around you is adjusting to that reality. Your protector didn't just save you from immediate danger. Your protector positioned you for long-term domination, because that's how real power moves. Real power doesn't just react to current circumstances. Real power shapes future realities. Right now, while your enemies are still trying to figure out what happened, you're being positioned for opportunities your enemies can't even imagine. Doors are opening that your enemies don't know exist. Connections are being made on your behalf, in rooms where your enemies will never have access. Resources are being aligned to support your rise in ways that will become visible to everyone, except you'll be the only one who understands how it all came together. This positioning isn't random. This positioning isn't luck. This is the result of someone with serious strategic thinking, deciding that your success serves a larger purpose. Someone who understands that when you win, ripple effects get created that benefit causes and people your enemies could never serve. And your enemies are about to become cautionary tales, examples of what happens when small minds try to contain big spirits, illustrations of why attacking someone's destiny is the fastest way to seal your own fate. Remember how drained you used to feel after dealing with their negativity, how heavy their words felt, how their presence could shift your entire mood and leave you questioning everything about yourself. All of that energy manipulation is over. Not only are you immune to their tactics now, but their attempts to drain you are actually feeding your power. Every lie told about you clarifies your truth. Every obstacle put in your path strengthens your determination. Every betrayal orchestrated deepens your wisdom. You've become energetically untouchable. Their negativity bounces off you like water off a duck's back. But more than that, their attacks are now charging your batteries instead of depleting them. You've learned to transform their poison into fuel, their hatred into motivation, their fear into confirmation that you're moving in exactly the right direction. And the beautiful part is, you're not even trying to reverse their energy. This happens automatically because you're operating from such a high frequency that lower vibrational attacks can't penetrate your field. You've become energetically sovereign, and sovereignty is the one thing controllers can never touch. Your transformation is creating ripples that extend far beyond your immediate circle. People who've never met you are hearing about your story through whispered conversations. Your resilience is becoming legendary in circles where resilience is respected. Your comeback is inspiring other chosen ones who thought their own situations were hopeless. But more than inspiration, you're becoming a blueprint, a template for what's possible when someone refuses to accept limitation as permanent. Your life is proving that no matter how far down someone pushes you, no matter how completely buried you seem, a way back up always exists, and the way back isn't just to where you were. The way forward is to where you were always meant to be. Your enemies hate this influence even more than your personal success. Because while direct attacks on you are possible, attacks on an idea aren't possible. Diminishing inspiration isn't possible. Sabotaging hope isn't possible. And you've become all of those things to people who needed proof that transformation is possible. The person who protected you last night knew this influence was inevitable. The understanding existed that your rise wouldn't just change your life. Your rise would change the lives of everyone who witnesses what you become. Your protection was an investment in collective elevation, not just individual rescue. The most profound change happening within you is at the level of consciousness itself. You're not just thinking differently, you're perceiving reality from an entirely new vantage point. Problems that used to feel insurmountable now look like stepping stones. Obstacles that used to seem permanent now appear temporary. Limitations that used to feel real now seem like illusions you bought into when you didn't know better. Your consciousness has been upgraded to process information at higher levels. You're connecting dots that others can't even see. You're understanding implications that escape other people's awareness. You're anticipating outcomes that surprise everyone except you, because you can see further down the cause and effect chain. This elevated consciousness is what's making your enemies feel like amateur players trying to compete with a master strategist. While moves are being made based on immediate emotions and short-term thinking, you're operating from expanded awareness that considers long-term consequences and multidimensional implications. Your protector didn't just wake up and decide to help you. The pattern has been watched. Observation happened of how your enemies coordinated their attacks, how strikes got timed when you were most vulnerable, how lies spread when you had the least capacity to defend yourself, and your protector studied all of it with the patience of someone who knows that premature intervention ruins the lesson, but perfect timing changes everything. The watching continued as you almost broke. The seeing happened as you stood on the edge of giving up. And you got that close because something needed to be seen about yourself. You needed to discover that even at your breaking point, actual breaking didn't happen. Even when you thought nothing was left, you still got up the next morning. Even when complete aloneness was felt, forward movement still continued. Your protector was testing your foundation before building on top of it. Because empire construction can't happen on weak ground. And what got discovered was that your foundation is solid, unshakable, built from every betrayal that tried to destroy you but only made you stronger, forged from every lie that tried to define you but only clarified your truth, tempered by every attack that tried to end you but only prepared you for what's coming. Your protector saw that foundation and said, "This one is ready. This one can handle what's about to get unlocked. This one won't waste the power about to become accessible." So the move happened. And when the move happened, defense didn't just occur in the moment. The entire architecture of how people perceive you got restructured. Seeds got planted in conversations you'll never hear. Narratives got shifted in spaces you'll never see. Your reputation got repositioned in circles that matter, while your enemies were busy celebrating what was thought to be your downfall. This is why waking up to a completely different reality is happening. Because while you were sleeping, your protector was working. And here's what you're starting to realize. The attacks you survived weren't random. Design existed to eliminate you before you reached this moment. Your enemies knew something about you that you didn't fully know about yourself yet. Your potential got seen before activation happened. Your threat level got recognized before you stepped into your power. So elimination attempts happened early. Destruction attempts happened before you became undeniable. But failure occurred. And now watching happens in horror, as everything attempted to be prevented unfolds right in front of them. Your protector understands something that your enemies never will. True power isn't given. True power is revealed. Power was always inside you. The protection you received last night wasn't someone handing you something new. The protection was someone removing the barriers that kept you from accessing what was already yours. Power wasn't created in you. Revelation happened that you've been powerful all along. You were just operating in an environment designed to keep you from realizing it. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random, and if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. The beauty is you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your destiny engine for $1 today and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. Think about how your enemies react when seeing you now. This confused look exists in their eyes, this cognitive dissonance, because the person being seen doesn't match the narrative that got created. You're not behaving like someone who just got rescued. You're moving like someone who just remembered rescue was never needed in the first place. You're carrying yourself like someone who realized the cage was never locked, like someone who discovered that the limits were always imaginary. And this confusion, this disorientation your enemies are experiencing is strategic. Your protector didn't just change your circumstances, the entire game board got changed. Your enemies are still trying to play by the old rules while you're operating in a completely different dimension. Attacks are being prepared for a version of you that doesn't exist anymore. Traps are being set for someone who's already 10 steps ahead. Ghosts are being fought while you're building empires. Your protector has connections in places that would blow your mind. Access exists to rooms where decisions are made that shape industries, movements, markets, and in those rooms your name has been mentioned, not as a victim who needs help, as an asset who deserves investment, as a force that should be aligned with, not against, as someone whose rise is inevitable and whose alliance is valuable. Conversations are happening about you that you would never believe. People you've never met are advocating for you. Doors are being unlocked before you even know existence happens. Opportunities are being structured specifically with you in mind. Your protector isn't just defending your present. Architecting your future is happening. Runways are being built for you to take off from. Landing strips are being created in territories you haven't even considered yet. And your enemies have no idea this is happening. Focus remains on the surface level. Obsession continues with the small battles. Attempts continue to win yesterday's war. Meanwhile, positioning is happening for tomorrow's victories. Setup is happening for success that has nothing to do with anything touchable by enemies. Elevation is happening into spaces where their opinions don't even register as noise. Your enemies thought competition was being eliminated, thought if breaking could just happen, if pushing out could just occur, if giving up could just be forced, then a clear path would exist. But what actually happened was qualification for the next level. Every attack was a test you passed. Every betrayal was a lesson you learned. Every setback was a setup for a comeback never seen coming. Unwitting trainers existed in your enemies. Destruction was thought to be happening, but preparation was actually occurring. And your protector saw this. Watching happened as you took every hit and got back up. Observation occurred as you processed every betrayal and extracted wisdom from it. Noticing happened of how you turned every obstacle into a stepping stone. And the statement came that this person doesn't need battles fought for them. This person needs doors opened that weren't known to exist. This person doesn't need rescue. This person needs resources, and that's exactly what's being provided. You're starting to notice changes in how people respond to you. Even people who don't know about your protector can feel that something shifted. New respect exists in tone. Hesitation exists before speaking. Recalibration happens in real time, because energy doesn't lie, and your energy is broadcasting a completely different signal now. Victim frequencies aren't being sent out anymore. Uncertainty isn't being radiated. The energy of someone hoping for permission isn't being projected. You're broadcasting authority, not the fake kind that comes from arrogance, the real kind that comes from someone who's been tested and proven, the kind that comes from someone who's walked through fire and came out refined instead of destroyed. The kind that comes from someone who knows worth because seeing happened of what you're made of under pressure. And people can feel that shift even if explanation can't happen. Your protector knew this would happen. Understanding existed that once proper positioning happened, once the right doors opened, once the right connections were made, your natural ability would take over. Carrying isn't the attempt. Removing the obstacles that were holding you back is the attempt. So your own power can flow naturally. Making you into something you're not isn't happening. Clearing the path is happening, so you can become everything you already are, and this is why your enemies are panicking. Because fighting what can't be understood is impossible. Attacking what can't be seen is impossible. Sabotaging a system without access to it is impossible. Your protector moved you into a different ecosystem, one where the rules are different, where the players operate differently, where success is measured differently, and your enemies don't even have the credentials to enter that space, let alone compete in it. Watch what happens when your enemies try their old tactics now. Watch how their manipulation bounces off you, how their gaslighting doesn't land anymore, how their attempts to trigger you fail completely. It's not just that you're stronger, it's that you're operating from a completely different frequency. You're like someone who learned a new language that others don't speak. Attempts to communicate in manipulation are still happening, and you're fluent in sovereignty now. Now comes the part that's going to change everything. You're not just surviving anymore. You're not just recovering. You're not just rising. You're about to dominate, not through aggression or manipulation, but through the sheer force of becoming who you were always meant to be. Your enemies thought a person was being fought. Discovery is about to happen, that destiny itself was being fought. And destiny doesn't lose. Destiny doesn't compromise. Destiny doesn't negotiate with forces that stand in the way of what's meant to unfold. You're entering a phase where your success becomes inevitable, where your influence becomes undeniable, where your presence becomes so powerful that rooms shift when you enter them. Not because domination is being attempted, but because authentic power naturally commands attention and respect. This domination isn't about crushing your enemies. This is about ascending so far beyond their reach that their opinions become irrelevant. This is about building something so magnificent that their attempts to tear you down look pathetic by comparison. You don't just rise. You rise in front of them. You rise where seeing happens. You rise so high that choking happens on the distance between who you were thought to be and who you're becoming. Forgetting what was done to you doesn't get to happen for them. Pretending it didn't happen doesn't get to occur because now you walk taller and their guilt walks beside them. Every room you enter, shrinking happens to them. Every win you collect, internal rotting happens to them. Every time your name is mentioned with respect, feeling happens, that slow, suffocating regret. And you never have to lift a finger in revenge, because your rise isn't about going backwards. Your rise is about ascending so hard, so fast, that gravity gives up trying to pull you back. You're becoming something not calculated for. There's something terrifying about a soul that's been broken, betrayed, dismissed, and still didn't die. That's you now. You're the living embodiment of a consequence never seen coming. You're no longer the underdog. You're the storm. You become something that used to be laughed at until realization happened that walking was occurring straight toward destiny with silence and certainty. No rage, no tears, just that energy that says explanation to people who were never listening is done. You've shifted dimensions. You're not playing in their world anymore. Spectator status exists for them in yours, and the terrifying truth is fear isn't even being attempted. Disrespect is just done. Explaining yourself is just done. Letting weak hands write your fate is just done. And that quiet indifference, that unbothered, elevated, detached energy that follows you now, that's what's suffocating them. Because nothing scares a manipulator more than the moment reacting stops. Nothing unnerves a coward more than when flinching doesn't happen anymore from their target. Now you're in the empire phase. Not survival, not retaliation, not even revenge. Ascension, establishment, legacy. You're not playing the game anymore. You define the game. This empire you're building isn't made of bricks or blood. This empire you're building isn't made of bricks or blood. This empire is made of clarity, boundaries, standards and power that can't be touched, and terror exists in them because knowing exists now that you're untouchable, not because loudness exists, but because leveling up beyond their reach has happened. Lies about your name can't happen anymore without sounding pathetic. Sabotage can't happen anymore without public backfiring. Even watching you rise can't happen without choking on the distance between who you were said to be and who you're becoming. You're not just building personal success anymore. Foundation laying is happening for a legacy that will outlast your physical presence on this planet. Your story is becoming mythology. Your transformation is becoming testimony. Your rise is becoming proof of what's possible when divine intervention meets human determination. This legacy isn't something creation will happen for someday in the future. Writing is happening right now through every choice you make, every boundary you maintain, every standard you uphold. Your mysterious protector saw this legacy potential when the intervention decision happened. Just saving someone having a difficult time wasn't the goal. Preserving a story that needed telling was the goal. Protecting a testimony that needed sharing was the goal. Ensuring a legacy that needed establishing was the goal. Remember that tremor you felt at the beginning, that shift crawling under your skin like the world suddenly remembered your name. Now understanding exists of what that was. That wasn't fear. That wasn't uncertainty. That was the earth itself adjusting to support the weight of your destiny. That tremor was reality reshaping itself around the force of nature you were always meant to be. That tremor was the universe clearing space for your expansion. That tremor was cosmic forces aligning to support your rise. That tremor was the first vibration of an earthquake that would topple every structure built to contain you. The person who stood up for you felt that tremor too. Recognition happened of what it was, the pre-shock of a massive shift, the warning signal that a chosen one was about to stop playing small. The cosmic announcement that your era of limitation was ending and your era of domination was beginning. And now as you stand in your empire, untouchable and unstoppable, understanding finally exists of what this protector saw in you that made intervention necessary. Feeling finally exists of what made such powerful commitment worthwhile. Knowing finally exists of why cosmic forces align to ensure your protection and your rise. Because you're not just a chosen one who survived, you're a chosen one who's building. And that tremor everyone feels now when your name is mentioned, that's not the earth shaking. That's your enemies recognizing the shift. That's reality rearranging itself around your expansion. That's the sound of a chosen one who finally stopped asking permission and started taking the throne. Your mysterious protector didn't just defend you. Announcement happened to the universe that your season of suffering was over and your season of sovereignty had begun. Crowning happened not with words but with actions, not with ceremony but with consequences that echo through every aspect of your reality. Welcome to your throne, chosen one. Welcome to your power. Welcome to the life you were always meant to live. The person who stood up for you last night didn't just save you. Revelation happened of you. Activation happened of what was always there. Removal happened of the barriers between who you were pretending to be and who you actually are. And now the whole world gets to witness what happens when a chosen one finally claims the crown. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your empire. And absolutely nothing can stop what's coming for you now. Your empire awaits. Your throne is ready. Your destiny is calling. And that tremor you feel, that's not the world shaking anymore. That's you, finally stepping into the fullness of your power and watching reality bend to accommodate the force of nature you were always